This is CBC Here and Now.
I think it's almost certain that we will see cases.
Only about 40% of them feel that they're ready.
Preparing for the coronavirus in this province, are we ready for COVID-19 to hit?
This was originally a concern about Chinese markets. Now, obviously, the Middle East and Europe seeing increased cases.
And a big seafood show in Boston canceled because of coronavirus fears. What's at stake for this province's fishery? As COVID-19 continues to spread worldwide, some are wondering if this province is ready for the possibility of a coronavirus outbreak. Here Now's Mark Quinn spoke with medical leaders and has this report.
No one wants to create fear about a virus that hasn't been detected in Atlantic Canada yet and has only infected dozens of people across Canada. But medical experts here say we should be prepared for COVID-19.
Yeah, I think it's almost certain that we will see cases. I think the healthcare system is prepared to handle those cases as they come.
People in this province have been tested for COVID-19, but so far there are no confirmed cases in Newfoundland and Labrador.
All tests for COVID-19 right now are being sent to the National Microbiology Lab for confirmation, whether they're positive or negative.
Fitzgerald says healthcare workers are being prepared for the possibility of an outbreak. They are being trained about COVID-19 containment and personal safety. But some frontline workers, such as nurses, still have concerns.
Our members are telling us only about 40% of them feel that they're ready.
Years ago, healthcare workers died after SARS, another coronavirus, hit Ontario. Now nurses here fear they won't be given adequate protection against this new disease.
We failed to do that during SARS, and we don't want to make the same mistake again. Until we really understand this virus, then we need to make sure the system provide maximum protection to decrease the chance of workers becoming infected and decrease the spread.
So far, there have been more than 90,000 cases of this new coronavirus that have caused more than 3,000 deaths worldwide. In Canada, there are cases in Ontario, BC, and Quebec, but no deaths. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
The Health Minister John Haggie says regional health authorities are putting plans in place to deal with an outbreak here, should one happen. And he says Canada Border Services are screening passengers and they will alert health officials in Newfoundland and Labrador to any possible risks.
We have detailed plans worked out with Canadian Border Services to screen. Anybody who was identified or symptomatic, a call would then go through to the regional health authority or public health, depending on the acuity, and they would then be assessed clinically. And then we have treatment protocols based on the clinical severity of the individual. We are linked in with the National Microbiological Laboratory in Winnipeg. That is the gold standard. They will advise us whether or not it's COVID-19 or not.
Well, from human health to the health of a major part of our economy, the largest seafood exhibition in North America has been postponed due to concerns about COVID-19, and that's a major setback. It means a missed opportunity to connect with customers, buyers and sellers for the upcoming fishing season, and exporters are concerned about a drop in demand. Here Now's Chris O'Neill-Yates reports.
Deals are made, relationships forged on the floor of the Boston Seafood Show. 18,000 people from all over the world were expected to attend this annual event next month. Shrimp, snow crab, lobster, and other wild seafood is exported from Newfoundland and Labrador, $1 billion worth every year. The Fish Food and Allied Workers Union represents 12,000 seafood workers in the province.
There's definitely a lot of concerned people right now, and particularly something like a virus like this is certainly unexpected.
Keith Sullivan is concerned about how markets for seafood will react. Newfoundland and Labrador exports most of its seafood to the U.S., the UK, and Asia.
So people consume a lot of this at restaurants, and if people are not going out, that's certainly a concern, and that can impact market prices. It can impact our economy in places like Newfoundland and Labrador, where it's a major industry for us.
COVID-19 has certainly cut into Asian markets for sea urchin roe. It's a new product for processor Danny Dumaresque.
The main market is Japan, but China was a significant consumer.
Dumaresque's sea urchin roe market has become the victim of unintended consequences. As China closed its markets, his competitors have elbowed into his main market, Japan.
It creates an oversupply situation and drives the prices down over 50% of what they were in December. So then it makes it a very risky business.
Dumaresque had hoped to drum up more business for sea urchin at the Boston Seafood Show and find customers for new products he's developing. Now that won't happen.
With the cancellation in Boston, again, it's now presented us with the challenge of more time, and it's going to require more money to go and see companies in their own backyard.
Sullivan says there is still the possibility that seafood markets could rebound.
We were headed for a year where markets looked very good, very stable, and that still may be the case.
It's the kind of optimism fisheries workers must cling to in an industry that has had to survive adversity many times over and may have to do so again. Chris O'Neill Yates, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, as Chris mentioned in her report, China is one of the biggest markets for the province's local seafood industry, and coronavirus restrictions in that country are already having an impact here. Fisheries Minister Jerry Burns says with flights to China canceled, it's more difficult to transport seafood, and travel within the country is also restricted. Burns says even if you can get seafood there, people just aren't eating out right now.
The primary concern here, of course, is consumer demand is down because Chinese as well as other Asian consumers are not eating out in restaurants as much. The restaurant industry drives a lot of the Beijing economy. How eating out is a very fundamental social fabric of China, and in particular the coastal areas, and they're doing less of that. So demand is down.
We've never had an avalanche here, and nobody's ever had any kind of damage from avalanches. But it happened to me. I was the first.
Definitely not the kind of first you hope for. Snowmageddon claims another victim, and for a Sunnyside family, it's going to be expensive.
Well, with all that snow we had, the rain today is certainly eating into it, and it's good news for most of us. Here's a look at the current low pressure system. You can see that rain continuing to push a little bit further north, seeing plenty of freezing rain through Green Bay, White Bay area. That will change over to rain as we head through the evening tonight, and then all of this rain is going to change over to snow for areas along the west and south coast as we head through the night tonight. Tomorrow, cooler temperatures, which means we are likely going to see some snow across the island and even up through Labrador as well. And then another round of winter weather on the way for areas across the island really on Saturday and Sunday. So we'll nail that down and we'll talk about amounts when I come back.
Well, now to something of a weather nightmare. It's been nearly 7 weeks since a historic storm battered much of the province, and a family in Sunnyside is still paying the price and now facing the bill from that brutal blizzard. Terry Roberts has their story.
The view has changed outside Pat Farrell's house. His garage has some extra ventilation.
A gaping hole came right through, blew the back of the garage off and came right through the front here.
He knows the exact time it happened. At 8:36 on the evening of January 17th, at the height of a raging blizzard, a ground-shaking avalanche barreled down this hill and into the Farrell's property.
Blew everything apart, buried everything.
The back wall pushed away like a curtain as snow burst through the garage, blowing open the front door and spilling into the driveway.
We were sitting in the front room of the house, and all of a sudden this huge crash. It was like the window blew out of the house.
It sounded like a freight train passing through their backyard.
Well, where I am now, this was completely under snow. It was right up almost to the roof here in the garage, because it went right through.
This garden shed moved about 6 meters. A wall caved in.
Nobody's ever had any kind of damage from avalanches that I've ever heard of, but it happened to me. I was the first.
A pyrotechnician, Farrell is no stranger to loud bangs and explosions. He's known as Pyro Pat. But Farrell wishes he never heard this foundation-rattling boom. A few days later, bad news from his insurance company.
It did say in small print that that they don't cover avalanches or landslides. So, yeah, I was out of luck.
He turned to the provincial government for emergency compensation, but was told outbuildings aren't covered.
Well, I'm most upset with the insurance company, really, because that's who should have covered it. It shouldn't be up to taxpayers to pay for my garage, really.
Despite the avalanche and all the damage it caused, Pat Farrell and his family plan to continue living at the base of this hill. In fact, he plans to rebuild this garage this summer, although this time a little sturdier. Terry Roberts, CBC News, Sunnyside.
Well, another damaged building to tell you about, one that's been without a roof for nearly 2 weeks. It's the reason there's been round-the-clock security at the Steers distribution warehouse in Corner Brook. Everything from furnaces to flooring has been exposed. This week, wrecking crews are smashing the walls and what's left of the roof. Officials closed a portion of Brook Street in front of the warehouse for safety reasons. The warehouse, built in the 1950s, was used mostly for storage. Well, Happy Valley Goose Bay is backing down from plans to equip the community constable and animal control officer with body cameras. The town announced last week it was going to install cameras to capture interactions between the officers and members of the public. Their vehicles are already equipped with cameras, but the province's privacy commissioner urged the town to hold off until a full privacy review has taken place. The town said last week it had considered the privacy implications, but is now saying the decision will be postponed until further notice. Well, Karen Stokes back here now with a special series that she started last night, and you chewed over certain issues with the 4 mayors.
Yes, that's right.
Had to do with the confusion caused by the fallout after January's big blizzard, right?
Yeah, all of those various states of emergency. And tonight we tackle a big picture topic related to that. And we ask the question, is it time to rethink the structure and separation of all of these cities and towns on the Northeast Avalon? And you can't talk about that without mentioning the A word. I mean, amalgamation has been the word, the dirty word that's been used for so many years. It's really left a mark. A lot of people don't even want to say the word anymore. But where do you guys stand on that now, today, the idea of amalgamation?
We'll work together where it makes sense. And you know, when you look at what makes sense, you look at economically, does it make sense? And socially, for your residents, do it make sense? Or, you know, are they going to buy in? So amalgamation, I'm not afraid of the word, but it's just a tool. It's a tool that the government can use, same as regional government or regional services.
I don't think amalgamation is a tool to settle your differences. I think the conversations that we as mayors have on a quarterly basis, our staff are always talking, and even during the storm there were some good news stories where we did cooperate and coordinate with each other. And you know, at the end of the day, our view is that amalgamation doesn't lower taxes, it doesn't reduce cost. In fact, typically what it does, it increases everybody's cost to the highest common denominator, let's say.
I think you know, the word amalgamation is antiquated. I mean, it's time to pass, right? Right now, we're right here now around the table. We're 4 municipalities, neighbors, just like we said, neighbors helping neighbors. We're working together. So basically, we see savings in a regional service, and we can participate together to cost savings for everybody. We're going to do it.
You know, if you look at Paradise and Torbay, for example, who swimming pools are something that has been required, then maybe there's a way we can get together and build those together so we can cut down on the costs. So when you look at regionalization, economies of scale is what you're trying to achieve. So some look at it as a governance issue of how you have a governance structure. I look at it as a transaction. I look at it as a way that I have to have this service to my residents. What is the most cost-effective and efficient way for me to get those services? And looking at it on a regional basis, I think will stand up every time. So I think we have a lot more opportunities to do it, to throw this word like amalgamation into it.
The younger generation now, they don't seem to recognize the borders the same way that a lot of us do. People, for example, who live in Southlands and do everything in Mount Pearl, like former Mayor Dennis O'Keefe's granddaughter lives in Southlands, but she goes to school in Mount Pearl. She does all of her extracurricular activities in Mount Pearl. She doesn't really recognize this invisible boundary.
I don't really think that's going to happen. I know, for example, The kids in Mount Pearl and Paradise really know each other well, but I think once they settle down, say some of the young adults in Mount Pearl move to CBS, I think they become ingrained in their community then. I think maybe their love of their community changes from where they grow up to where they live, but I really believe people want identity and they want to be comfortable, doing things in their community.
There's examples across the country, in Nova Scotia, for instance, where they've done these big amalgamation things or joined all the municipalities into one. That proves that it doesn't save any money, because all the services that you're providing now separately, you still have to provide. Now you're going to have to manage all that. So the management piece ends up growing, but just to increase, say, another level of government or increase the administration part of that, I don't know if there's any advantage there whatsoever.
Can you cut down on duplication and create efficiencies instead of, 4 town managers, 1 town manager?
I think that for a region this big, you'd go from 1, 2, 3, 4 town managers to probably 1 and then 6 deputy managers, because
I'll disagree to a bit. I think what will happen over time organically, I think that the region will become one. Now, I don't know when that will happen, but I think what will happen is people, if we really do our job correctly and we really share resources the way that we can to the betterment for everyone, I think that eventually the whole area will be known as one place. Now, what the governance structure will look like on that, I don't know. But I think, to your point, the young people today that may live in Southlands or may live in Brookfield Plains or Airport Heights or in Mount Pearl, they want to be able to work, they want to be able to raise a family, and they want to be able to live in a city that has the services that they want.
People like to have choice. And we're all different as municipalities. We have our different histories. Mount Pearl is more suburban-like. St. John's is a bit more urban-like. Similarly, you have your own identities. But the nice thing about having individual communities within our region is giving people the choice where they want to live, where they can enjoy working, playing, and raising a family. They get to choose whether it's CBS, Flat Rock, Torbay, and I think that's kind of akin to
I think a lot of them make
a very
that choice
positive
now,
thing.
and they don't really see the difference between any of them.
Did you ever foresee a day where it would be possible to have 1 mayor, 1 council, 1 city hall organization for the entire municipality?
They tried that at Halifax, and basically they've created this big municipality, and what they've also then had to do is create little subcommittees that deal with every neighborhood within the city. So ultimately, whatever funding people think you're going to save in terms of expenditure, eventually if you have too much centralized control, individual neighborhoods don't feel like they identify with any place to live. So we want to make sure that we don't create, in solving one problem, we don't create another problem, which is adding another level of bureaucracy.
The last thing we want to do is add another layer of governance here. That's the exact opposite.
It took a generation to get past the amalgamation issue, and it might take another couple generations to, with good cooperation and regional services, and people, I believe, will recognize their identities in the long run. But I think it'll take a generation or two with our offspring, not necessarily the people around this table, growing organically and perhaps they'll become the leaders of tomorrow, and they'll make the decisions that they think are best for their cities.
Remember too, Carol, we're not very big. Like St. John's population's 108,000. If you put us all together, we're at 220, 230,000 roughly.
Look at Toronto.
Right. So we're not
Toronto.
talking about a huge population base, but I think that there's a very large regional opportunity here that we can take advantage of and make work for everybody without having to get into the debates about governance and those things.
All right, kind of agreeing, but I sensed a different interpretation of what the R word means as far as regionalization or amalgamation.
But interesting this idea of having one, municipality in the future and how that could possibly look. So, and you heard them mention Halifax and other places that tried amalgamation. So tomorrow night we're going to talk a bit about that. We'll have a look at Halifax as an example and find out how it worked out for them.
Okay, that was a while ago too, right?
25 years.
All right, stay tuned. More on the A word tomorrow.
And if you're down when you visit Victor, you'll feel up before you leave. He just cheers you up.
Lots of love for Victor on his 103rd birthday. We're going to take you to Lewisport for the big party. A man from Nova Scotia is facing multiple charges over a brazen stunt this weekend. Somewhat brazen. The 39-year-old who drove that car over the wharf turned himself into RCMP yesterday. He's been charged with mischief and several other charges, including stunting, driving with a revoked license, and driving without a liability policy. Need insurance for that, apparently. Yee-hoo! He's also facing a charge under the Environment Act because apparently you should not drive over and dump a car into the ocean for fun to get on YouTube. Okay, no segues from that. Your face says it all. I know it's kind of like, what? Yeah.
What just happened?
I know. 4 charges, drives the car over the wharf for a stunt.
And then gets excited about it.
Yeah,
All
quite excited.
Cool.
Okay, a little wet out there, at least here.
Yeah, it is really.
Still right now. Yeah, more.
Absolutely, more is on the way.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, let's take a look at those temperatures because they were mild and still are mild. 6 degrees here at the airport in St. John's. A number of areas though around the Avalon into the double digits. 10 degrees, I believe, was the last report that I saw. And then we're seeing temperatures 4 degrees through Gander, 2 in Corner Brook, and then mild up through Labrador as well, -2 for Happy Valley, Goose Bay right now. So let's take a look at that radar. We do have a lot of areas seeing rain right now, certainly on the Avalon. And up through areas around Green Bay, White Bay, you did see some extended periods of freezing rain. As the temperatures start to climb and or hover around the 0 degree mark, that should change over to rain. As of now, it looks like it has on radar, but depending on where you are, your elevation, you might still be seeing some freezing rain. Now, as we head through the night tonight, these freezing rain warnings should end, especially for here, and then we still have those wind warnings in place for eastern areas of the island. Wind warning anywhere from 80 to about 100 kilometers per hour. That will ramp up as we head through the night tonight and then continue through the day tomorrow. We do still have those rainfall warnings in place for the Burin Peninsula as well as the Avalon. And again, that rain will continue tonight, heavy at times. Eventually, it will taper to showers as we head through the overnight. But as we get into that wraparound colder air, the areas that we're seeing rain earlier today, you're going to change over to snow, and it will be heavy at times as we start to see some heavier winds again with this one. We're looking at about 100 kilometer per hour winds along the west and south coast as we head through the night tonight. You can see that snow will eventually make its way up through Labrador as well. And then areas on the northern peninsula where you'll see things start as snow, you'll eventually see a transition through to maybe some freezing drizzle, freezing rain, and then some drizzle. Even along the strait, that's a potential as we head through the overnight. And then that will eventually change back over to snow as we head towards the morning hours. So winter storm warnings and or blowing snow advisories in place pretty much all along the coast, and then including Burgeo. And again, you're looking at some strong winds continuing right through the day tomorrow. We'll see a little bit of a wind shift from southerlies to southwesterlies, hence some of that colder air wrapping around. But overall, those temperatures will drop below 0 for you. -2 for Corner Brook. 1 degree should be the evening low or overnight low for St. John's. We're going to stay above 0 tonight. But again, those winds upwards of about 100 kilometers per hour. And then temperatures in the -single digits up through Labrador, Lab City. You're pretty much going to sit this one out. You're not looking at too much in the way of snow, maybe about 5 centimeters with this one. So tomorrow afternoon, we will continue to see that snow anywhere along the west coast as well as Labrador, and then the potential for flurries right across the board into the island. And that's because those temperatures will be hovering near or around the 0 degree mark. But the majority of the accumulation, this puts us through to tomorrow morning. You can see already as much as 10 to 15 centimeters falling in some areas down along the south coast. That could be 15 to 25. Then we're going to add to that as we head through the day tomorrow. So especially in those higher elevations, 30, 40 plus centimeters is certainly possible. And then same thing for the coast of Labrador. So here's where you'll be sitting temperature wise, just a couple of degrees either above or below 0 tomorrow. Again, with those winds staying breezy with that potential for some flurries pretty much through central as well. The heavier wind and snow will be along the west coast. So driving conditions won't be nice tomorrow. 2 degrees for St. Anthony, 1 in Cartwright, and generally sitting around those temperatures up through Labrador as well. So this is one round. As we head into the weekend, there's another one on the way. I'll have some details on that coming up.
All right, thanks, Ashley. Now to a story to put a smile on your face. A big birthday celebration in Lewisport. Victor Baker, Uncle Vic as he's known, has just turned 103. And Pleasant View Manor marked the big day with music, and Baker himself even sang a few tunes. Here now is Garrett Barry stopped by.
Never bored. No, never bored. I never thought I'd live, that long. Anybody never think they're going to live that long. No. God has surely made a way for me. Yeah. I was born in Lauriston, but I was only 2 years old when I left there. I went to Badger. My father worked as a cook in the lumber woods and in the staff house and that there. Well, I lived there for 9 years. We had a very good life, I guess, growing up. Different from what it is today. Yeah, we didn't have the things to deal with like today. Problems with drugs and all that stuff. My wife belonged here. That's why I happened to be in Lewisport, really. And when I retired, we moved here. She wanted to come back here to Lewisport. She belonged to Lewisport. She was a wolf, really. That's my son. My son, Maxwell. He would work with the federal government, Indian Affairs. When I went away from home too early, got mixed up with stuff, and I think that's what caused his death. Had AIDS. Yeah. This land will never grow.
He's a friend to everybody, I think, and he's very lovable. And if you're down when you visit Victor, you'll feel up before you leave. He just cheers you up. A very amazing man, obviously, and he's full of energy. And what you saw there today is Victor. A tremendous sense of humor and wit, and he's just a delight.
Oh, good job.
We got along pretty well. We didn't have much, but we didn't need much. No. There was no money. You had to make your own way, you know. You could make your own fun and whatever. It was all good. Because you didn't know anything else anyway.
We're ready if you are. Bye.
Every day is a learning experience. Something else is always coming up, and it's great because you get to learn how to do lots of little things that you wouldn't have had a chance or reason to learn how to do before.
2 winters living off the grid, we head to the woods near Mobile to meet the couple living off the grid. During last month's storm, many people learned to cope without electricity, but for one couple near Mobile, that's just the way they want it. The pair has been living off the grid for more than a year now. Cameraman Bruce Tilley and On the Go host Ted Blades made the trek to their little piece of paradise.
This is our second winter here. Before that, we came from another spot that was a little cabin off the outskirts of Paradise. We just tried to see if we could do it, and then we did it, and then we decided to look for something more permanent, and then we got this spot, and we're going to be planning on doing this for a while, hopefully.
So this was a joint decision? This wasn't
Yes.
something that one of you talked the other one?
No, we've been like this forever.
Been, like, literally, we were teenagers. Like, we started going out when we were 15, 16 years
Yeah.
old. And we talked about, like, just moving out in the middle of the woods.
All right, Kyle, I guess the first thing I need you to tell me about is this shed.
I had to build this porch here for a secondary porch. And then we had a little mess. We just needed a little mess room here to stack a bit of wood and to keep a little bit of water thawed out.
Made with logs, chinced with moss?
Yeah, just like you see in a random passage out in Bonavista area.
Like 500 years ago.
Yeah.
How steep has the learning curve been on what it takes to live off the grid and what work that's going to involve for you two?
Very steep. Every day is a learning experience. You get to learn how to do lots of little things that you wouldn't have had a chance or reason to learn how to do before. So it's a bit of fun.
Yeah, here we have right here very simple gasoline power system right here. Here we have a 950 watt generator that actually goes down to 600 watts. It has a switch, so you could actually conserve a lot of gas. You could power an entire house, minus fridges and microwaves and stuff, of course. This is the pump battery, which we get our water from. This here is used pretty much just for the water pump because we have such a lift to get up the hill. This is all independent from a solar system too.
And in the great grand scheme of solar panels, that doesn't seem like a very big one to me. How much electricity do you get out of that?
That's a 250 watt panel, so that's on the rare occasion when we do have sun. But other than that, it works pretty good. Even in cloudy type of lighting, you'll still probably get 50 to 100 watts, depending on how thick the clouds are.
So tell me about this.
So right here is our fridge. It's mostly used for the summer, but summertime is used for keeping things cold, and wintertime is used for keeping things from freezing.
Now it's a big mound. What future plans do you have for being sustainable on that front, on a food front?
Definitely want some chickens for eggs.
It goes in slowly. We have about an acre around here that we're trying to just till up more little bits at a time. We just did a new greenhouse out there. Every year we're gonna just keep adding more garden beds.
So this doesn't sound like something you're going to do for a couple of years. This sounds like something you guys plan on doing for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Well, this is our home.
Just the peace of mind knowing that whatever happens, you always just have like a piece of land or a piece of property to call your own type of thing.
We have a roof overhead. We can keep
Yeah.
ourselves warm. We can keep ourselves fed. We have water. We can get rid of our waste. We can do everything we need to do.
Well, to politics and the Liberal leadership race now. The health minister and former surgeon John Haggie says he's not sure if he's going to endorse orthopedic surgeon Andrew Furey for Liberal leader and premier.
Yes, our province is in a difficult position, and we are all worried. But this level of concern and negativity can be toxic. However, the diagnosis is not terminal.
Now, you saw Furey announce his leadership bid on Here and Now last night. 15 current MHAs, including most of the cabinet, were there supporting him. But fellow surgeon John Haggie, who also attended, missed the group photo, and he isn't supporting Furey, well, not just yet anyway. John Abbott, Haggie's former deputy minister and an outspoken healthcare critic, will announce his leadership bid tomorrow, and there may be others. Haggie told me this afternoon that he wants to take a look at all of the candidates before deciding who he's going to support. Political question, if you will. I noticed you weren't part of the Dr. Furey fan club photo last night, even though you were briefly at the event. Will you be at John Abbott's launch tomorrow?
I was, in actual fact, outside talking to a former MHA about homelessness initiative he's now involved in, and I didn't realize there was a photo op, so I simply missed that. In terms of the leadership race, I want to hear what any candidates say. If there's two, I'll see them both, and if there's three, I'll go to the third one if I can.
But in between a deputy minister who I believe you respected and a fellow surgeon, it seems that you're one of the few members of cabinet who's in an awkward position in this race.
I'm not sure I feel awkward at all. I know both of them for completely different reasons. One I worked with for 18 months, just under, and the other one I've had clinical links with going back a few years. I wouldn't feel awkward at all. I mean, I simply want to hear what these folk have to say. This, for me, is about a huge opportunity for the Liberal Party to undergo its own democratic revival. From the provincial level, it's about finding a leader who has a vision, who has a plan, and I want to hear what they have to say before I make up my mind.
But between a policy person like Mr. Abbott and a surgeon like Dr. Fury, this could make for a very interesting healthcare debate in this race. And eventually, are you going to have to choose who you support?
Oh, I'm going to vote. You always have to choose, unless you choose.
Will you tell us
to
who you
vote.
support?
Well, at the moment, I don't know because I haven't heard either platform. I heard a very well presented aspirational speech last night. What that does in terms of translating into policies, he said himself he will explain over the course of the leadership race. As a thinking voter, I can only offer the other candidates the same courtesy.
Right, but Mr. Abbott says he was tossed because the Premier didn't want him anymore. I'm just wondering if this doesn't drag you into an awkward dynamic in this leadership race.
Well, I have no knowledge. I mean, we all serve at the pleasure of the Premier once you get beyond a certain point.
You don't know why
in
your
government.
deputy minister was expunged?
My deputy minister was invited to go and lead a team called Health in All Policies at a time when that was, and still is, a main policy thrust of this government. One of the things I think you will see coming down the road is the expansion of the idea of health in all policies, so that you look at things like housing, for example, and social determinants of health through a health perspective. That was John Abbott's expertise. He'd done that for years with the Health Council of Canada. He was the obvious choice to do that. From my point of view, we had a very healthy relationship. We criticized each other. Healthy criticism done in a constructive way is the key to good public policy.
His healthy criticism is that he has to get into this race because he doesn't want to stand by and watch this government continue to do nothing. And you might be at his launch?
I am going to hear what a candidate for the leadership of the Liberal Party, the party I belong to, the party I'm here because of, has to say. I would expect everybody, quite honestly, who's free to do the same. Why on earth would you not?
Because they've all taken sides already.
Well, that's a discussion between you and them. I am here.
There's too many of them.
I am here as a voter with an open mind. You have got to sell me your vision of Newfoundland and Labrador and your vision of the Liberal Party to get my vote.
We're going into our 7th year now, and that's primarily a book festival, but it's grown to be a full cultural festival.
Lisa Porter tried to find a home and ended up creating something much, much more. Well, she went looking for a house and ended up starting a cultural festival. Tonight, in the fourth in our series, Repurposed, we meet Lisa Porter and discoverer of Oakerfest.
This building used to be a United Church, built in 1938. Some friends of ours had bought this 2 years before on a whim and weren't doing anything with it. So they phoned us up and said, "You guys should buy this from us. This is what you want." And we said, church, I don't think so. But we came to be polite. And then we walked in and we just looked around and we went, okay, I guess we're not buying a little salt box house. I guess we're getting a church. It just happened. Oaker House is a vacation and retreat facility. So we get yoga retreats, painting retreats with the Oakerfest. We're going into our 7th year now, and that's primarily a book festival, but it's grown to be a full cultural festival. So we have books, music, visual art. We've had a pop-up restaurant. We've spread out outside of Oaker Pit Cove. We have a shed party down, which you're going to go see. So that's a growing festival.
What I try to do here is I try to let people know who we are, like why we're connected to each other, and particularly in rural communities, and why the shed is so important to us. You know, what the shed was years ago and what it's become now that women are allowed in the shed. And it's a place for me. My dad was from Pass Island. My mom was from Grand Banks, so I spent time going up and down, you know, the south coast on a coastal boat, and sheds in every community was a part of a scoff and a scuff, you know, so music and fun and stories. And me doing this now for tourists, it just brings back a lot of great memories for me.
It's part of our philosophy is to grow organically and listen to the building and listen to the community, rather than coming in as an outsider and saying, we're just this amazing thing and we're going to be the next Bonavista, or we're going to be the next, we're going to do a microbrewery and we're going to be the next tourist thing. We'd rather sit here, feel the space, and see what comes to us and see what the community responds well to.
The weather update is brought to you by Beltone, your partner in better hearing.
Okay, let's propel ourselves down to later part of the week. Enough of this wet stuff and all that, but this is where you're going to tell me there's, okay.
More on the way.
All right, let's have it.
Let's talk about it. We'll just get right back into it because, yeah, we did eat at some of that snow today, but as we return to some of that colder air, as that low pressure system moves offshore, we get into that northerly flow, and we're going to see that potential for some onshore flurries continue, certainly along coastal Labrador and then again along the west coast. It is looking generally unsettled through the day on Friday, maybe a few peaks of sun towards central and then along the south coast as well. As we head through the day, as that low continues to track a little bit further offshore. But then that area of high pressure moves in, and it's actually going to clear things out for Labrador. So that's certainly good news there. And then we're going to watch our next system roll in for Saturday. So here's where we'll be sitting temperature-wise, minus 14 degrees for Lab City. And again, as that ridge of high pressure dominates, you're looking at plenty of sunshine. Minus 9 for Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and areas along or across the island we'll be seeing temperatures around minus 2, minus 4 through the day. And again, best chance of seeing that sunshine will be through central. Can't rule out the chance of some lingering flurries though as well. So we'll get right into it because everybody's been asking about what's coming this weekend. If you do have travel plans, certainly keep an eye on this forecast. There are a few things that we still need to iron out as far as how far that rain snow line, that pink line there, tracks west will change and determine whether we're going to see areas of significant snowfall all across the Avalon, or if we'll see a change over to some freezing rain and potentially even some rain. So certainly something to keep in mind, but at this point it is looking like we will see significant accumulating snow for eastern Newfoundland, parts of the Avalon, even towards central as well. We could pick up a good amount of snow through the day, and that will generally continue into Sunday as well because that area of low pressure takes its time to move away. So we will see some lingering flurry activity continue into Monday, though. Another area of high pressure will dominate Labrador. But again, still looking at unsettled conditions on Monday. A little bit more peaks of sun, though, expected as we head into the afternoon, and then you'll see that other area moves in. So we're going to see potentially some more snow into Tuesday. So very unsettled over the next couple of days. Here's where you'll be sitting temperature-wise, minus 2 to minus 4 into Saturday. Have that risk of freezing rain in there right now, but again, we'll iron that one out. By Monday, it looks like we'll see a return of that sunshine, but colder temperatures, minus teens as we head through the overnight. This is where you're sitting central for central Newfoundland, minus 5 by Saturday, and then hovering in and around there as we head into Sunday and Monday, with temperatures dipping for you as well. Now for western Newfoundland, generally gray right into Sunday. Monday, maybe a few peaks of sun, but you're still looking at temperatures into the minus single digits. For eastern Labrador, hovering around seasonal by the time we get into the weekend, but by Monday dropping significantly. And again, that's thanks to that area of high pressure. By western Labrador, minus teens right across the board. Sunday, some flurries, and then by Monday, sunshine. There's someone enjoying the snow.
Very much so.
I'll tell you where this is too when we come back.
just got a direct message from Here Now viewer said you got to get Ashley to order some fog to get rid of the snow.
Yeah.
Because the fog's a good snow
We
killer.
did see some fog today.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
we'll see it through the night
So
too.
I said I'd ask. But the picture you have, you don't see the snow taking much of a cut in that photo you showed just
Well,
before
there's
the break.
not
Take
even,
a look.
There's actually not even a lot of snow.
But it looks like
up
good
through areas
snow.
of Labrador. Oh, I just gave it away.
No, you did too.
Oh.
Yes, it's not Avalon snow.
It's not Avalon snow.
Big
no.
land snow.
It was actually taken in Wabush.
And there you go.
Is that so great?
You have the dog's name?
Luna.
Luna. Okay.
Luna's enjoying the snow there.
Yeah, with one of those really fantastic balls for dogs they can't chew through. It drives them crazy.
That's right. And they're easy to throw too.
Luna looks pretty happy though.
He certainly does. Or she certainly does. Thank you, Nim, for sending that in. And if you have any weather photos to share with us of anybody enjoying the winter weather, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Beautiful shot. Happy dog as well. And is it midweek already? It is,
Wednesday.
right? Okay. Thanks a lot for tuning in tonight. And of course, we'll count on you being with us once again tomorrow. And you're going to have a better forecast tomorrow, right?
Yep, sure. My forecasts always get better, don't they?
That's true, that's true.
As we head towards the weekend.
There you go. As we head towards June.
That's right. We're getting
July,
closer and closer to June.
August. Have a great night.
Good night.